Well, hello, and I hope that we are able to have a link that's working today. I think some of you are sending me, some links. Mr. Pickett might be joining us. Mr. Pickett, if you're seeing that, that's a good sign. If anyone else is seeing this and trying to get in, let me know if you're here. So it seems like some of you are able to find a link that worked well and others maybe not. So I'm not sure if it was the email that was the trouble, but if Mr. Pickett's able to put things in the chat, I think that means that things are good. So okay, we're good. So some people might be having trouble, but some are okay and here. So we're just going to go. And hopefully I just did send out an email to anyone that had signed up for the link with a new link. So that link might work better. Shiloh Dawn is saying the link needs to have the word education removed and then it works. Also, sometimes you get like a button that you have to kind of click through to. So some of you are here. Let's roll with Curipod. Okay, so welcome to our third after school AI session. We've been doing some of these. Lots of you have been watching later on when the time is more convenient. So we really appreciate that. And some of you have joined us live. So we've got a couple Eagle Butte folks who would have just finished off a school day a few minutes ago. Thank you for joining us. Could you tell us in the chat as you're joining us outside of Curipod, have you heard of Curipod before? Have you used it as a teacher or as a student? That would be great to know. Sometimes we've heard of these tools, or you've heard of a technology tool or an AI tool, and you just haven't been able to try it yet. Let us know what your status is for Curipod. As coaches, we have used Curipod a few times, and that was one of the times we did that was indeed earlier in the school year before school started back in August. We did a session at Eagle Butte around digital portfolios, and we used Curipod then. And so some of you might have experienced it as a student at that point, but it looks like lots of you have not had a time to dig in as a teacher. Let's take a look today and see why you might want to do that. So Curipod, how does Curipod save time? Our whole series is about different tools, and there's so many out there, different tools that can help you save time as a teacher. This week, we're featuring Curipod. And so one of the things that Curipod does is it allows us to take and make an interactive lesson from scratch. I recognize that some of you who are in the chat are Pear Deck fans. And so if you love that interactivity with Pear Deck, where you're posting your lesson and students have joined in your lesson and they are interacting and they're answering questions, and you can see their answers that they type, you can see them vote, you can see them draw and give feedback. That is exactly what Curipod does, except that we can ask Curipod to make us a lesson about polar bears, and it's going to create a starting point for that lesson. We can also take an existing lesson and add Curipod elements to increase the engagement. So that's a little bit about Curipod. So what we're going to do is we are going to join a Curipod Live to experience it, because that's the best place to do that. And so what I'm going to have you do is to go to Curi.live, go to Curi.live, and I'm going to I'm going to show us how to get into there, and that will produce a new pin. I couldn't have a pin in here beforehand because every time I go there, it adds a new one. So let's get in here. So I'm going to switch over to my Curipod lesson. Here we go. So this is the homepage at Curipod, curipod.com. Some of them are have AI as the extension. This is a .com. And so you can either sign up or make a new account. And what I'm going to do is in the top right-hand corner, I'm going to choose my lessons. So it recognizes that I've logged in. It's going to pop into my lessons. And here we have all the lessons, some of the lessons that I've created. And so we're going to use one that you're going to join as a student to start, and then we'll poke around on the creation process after that. So I'm going to load my lesson. So I've clicked into it, and now in the top right-hand corner, not unlike Pear Deck, I'm going to click Present. And so you are going to go to, if you would be so kind, Curipod, no, Curie.live, and the pin is 8134. So one of the things with Curipod, it asks you to put in your real name, or at least I've set it to ask it to put in your real name. But on this join screen, you will see that you are anonymous. All right. So Creative Bear, Falling Pizza. After you get your name, it asks you to put your real name in there, and I would be the only one who sees that. Okay. Oh, for some reason, I ended up at the end of the lesson. Let's go back to the beginning. All right. So you should now see the lesson. And in a moment, I'm going to press the go button. And you're going to have 40 seconds to describe how artificial intelligence can improve teaching in one word, if you can do that. This is going to make a word cloud. It's one of the question types that they have. So I'm just going to go ahead and launch that. So how could Curipod, no, not even Curipod, how could artificial intelligence improve teaching? And so you might be able to see on my screen that there's a little countdown. It looks like 5 of us have joined the word cloud. And everyone's answered it. So now I'm going to show it. And we see speed, time, efficient, fast. Lots of those are connected. That is our answer for that one. So I'm going to go on to the next question. All right. So this is a question that is an open-ended question. How has artificial intelligence already been used in the classroom? So it's almost been exactly a year since ChatGPT burst on the scene. Artificial intelligence, we've been using that in our classrooms for a long time already, even if it hasn't been quite as jolting. What are some ways that you can think of that we have already been using artificial intelligence in our classrooms for some time already? So it tells us 2 of you have submitted answers. All right. Maybe wait for one more answer, and then we'll show that. In fact, I can even show those while. So it's a teacher's choice here. I might say, well, I don't want to put answers up on the screen. I don't want to give anybody else ideas. I could show those right now. All right, so we've got 5 answers. Now what's going to happen is there's actually a voting phase, and you can skip the voting, but we're going to try this at least on some of them. So what's going to happen is in a moment, you're going to see some of the answers on the screen. And so you can vote for the most relevant answer by tapping it. They're going to come up in pairs. And so you can pick from the ones each pair. It's not so overwhelming that way. Okay. I'm just going to jump in here and let's see what our poll says. Oh, so the vote that got the highest was the fact that we've been using artificial intelligence already for Grammarly or spell check, or text prediction. Text prediction, another piece that is very close to that, spell check. Some others were feedback. All right, so these are some ways perhaps that we have already been showing it. So this is the polling feature. So Curipod is all about getting kids engaged, getting kids interacting with each other. So I've done some initial thinking, I've written my answers, and then I get to see what others are looking at or thinking about and add them. So that is a poll. Another thing that AI does, and I did have AI produce this deck. I did tweak it. This is one of the things it likes to do, is give you a list of points or facts. And so this is a text slide. It gives us the benefits of artificial teaching, personalized instruction. There's that feedback, which was one of the answers on a previous question, automation of grading and other tasks, saving time, an information slide with what looks like a Christmas background on the back. So clearly I did not pay attention to my backgrounds when I created this. Another slide that is a did you know slide. It gives us some ideas there, personalized learning. It can be used to detect plagiarism, but it gives a warning about that, tracking, analyzing. So these again are pieces from the AI that were generated by Curipod. I did not monitor or change those much anyways. What are some potential benefits of using artificial intelligence? I'm going to actually shrink this down to give us a minute instead of 2 minutes. I'm going to have you play this one. So you are going to give us some benefits. Maybe you've already listed some in some of the others. I believe it will let you submit 2 answers. So if you think of one and want to do another, it will let you submit a second one. Okay, we have 9 answers. I'm going to show them. Okay, so there's 10 answers in now. Let's skip voting this time, because that was pretty common question to the one that we had before. So we skipped the voting and it just lists them here. Just again, similar to Pear Deck, we see time saving, save time, time saver. How many ways can you say save time? That's a big one. And then I also see a pattern of ideas, brainstorming, fresh ideas, generate new ideas. So actually, we're almost split down the middle into ideas and time saving. So it's interesting that we're almost in 2 separate camps there. So I wonder if those were everybody's 2 ideas. All right, now this question, what are some challenges? This might be where your brain goes to. First of all, the challenges of AI. Let's take a look at what we think some challenges are. So I'm going to press go. You have a minute to identify some challenges. Okay, that might have just let you take one. And let's let the timer run down so we can see what happens when it happens automatically. Okay, so I'm going to skip voting again and move on, and it should show us the answers. Come on. Ooh. We seem stuck. Okay, I have to press skip voting. That's what happened. All right. So cheating, plagiarism, that's certainly a theme, goes along with academic honesty. You've talked about these issues with your peers, these challenges. Certainly they are definite issues. This next one is a poll. I don't know that we've had a poll yet, so you have two choices there. How can artificial intelligence enhance personalized learning? So you're going to pick one of two answers there. You can have up to 10 answers in a poll. Looks like we're all done. So we'll take a look at the results here. All right, 4 of you were on the positive side, thinking that it might adapt, and one of you's kind of got a darker view about how it's going to totally take over our jobs. So that was a poll. And again, you can have up to 10 questions in a poll. Curipod has a whole library of items. One section is brain breaks. I'm going to give you 1 minute or less to draw a fish swimming in a stream of rainbow-colored milk. Now, when you get this on your device, I encourage you to poke around, see what's under some of those buttons. How creative can you be? So we'll take a little time and do some drawing. Okay, 5 drawings. We'll just go skip voting, although that might be fun. We'll take a look at them all. All right. Oh, so we have someone that actually achieved a rainbow, got a background there. Everyone's fish looks very similar. And then what happened to and then I don't know if that fish got flushed or what happened there. Oh, let's see. Can we make that bigger? Okay, someone was still in process. We can make those bigger. And that's just a fun feature to lighten things up a little bit. Let's do this as a last one. How can artificial intelligence be used to enhance your teaching? So this will be a question where you do some typing in a moment. What about personalized learning experiences? Reducing time, we've talked about that. Idea generator. Let's give this a go. This is a question type that we haven't encountered yet. So sentence or two is great. Although this format of question would also work good if you had students, if you wanted to write them something a little longer, like a paragraph, this format would work. Okay, some of you have entered a response. We're going to kind of wrap it up. Okay, so this is a magic question in Curipod. If you look at your device screen, it's going to tell you that you're waiting for feedback. This is perhaps my favorite part of Curipod, or its most powerful part. You can see here, these are the ideas that we have been given. Okay, so brainstorm partner, differentiating, oh my goodness, differentiating, leveled text, there's that differentiation again. If you haven't watched our session on diffit, we did a great one a couple weeks ago. It's on our coach's website page. First drafts of letters, that must be a high school counselor writing that one maybe. Springboard template. Now, what you should see on your screen below your writing is some feedback. I will read to you what it wrote for mine. I wrote the top one in the left corner. While brainstorming is a good aspect of using artificial intelligence, your answer is missing some key points. Artificial intelligence can indeed save teachers time by reducing administrative tasks and providing more efficient and timely feedback to students. Those were points that I also see listed on the screen. Keep up the good work. Try to include those points in your answer next time. Now, when I set this question up, I had two choices. I could ask it to focus on the content or also on the writing. So we could also really hone in here. And so for those of you that didn't use capital letters and periods or had sentence fragments, it would also attend to that. We are going to just go through to the end here. And this is the last one. I'm just going to hit end lesson. So we've seen most of the question types. So now you can see back to my dashboard. We can see that we had 6 folks in this session, and we can see all the different questions, the activities. So I can go back here. I love this dashboard. In fact, it's even, since I used Curipod the first couple times, this has really expanded. So I can take a look at each question and go through those. And I can, over here, turn on real names. So if you added a real name, it's in there. Some of you didn't, and that's okay too. But I can turn on real names so I can tell who is doing the thing or the thinking. So I'm going to come back to, let's go here to create lessons. Here's where some of that automatic magic is. So inside of Curipod, we are now in the creation space. So there's a couple ways we can go about this. I'm going to start actually with create your own. So here you can see on the far left-hand side that we can upload, right? So I could take an existing lesson. Now the downfall is, as you can see here, they are not yet having Google Slides, which I know a lot of us use. I've been reassured and heard lots in the last little bit that that's coming. This week actually is Curicon. So if you liked Curipod, you can still sign up for their Wednesday and Friday sessions of Curicon, which is like this great big conference of Curipod. They've had some of the best speakers around AI. Matt Miller, he's written a book. Dan Fitzpatrick. It's just, they've got this incredible lineup and great sessions. And they're all, if you sign up, you can get them on replay as well. But anyways, they were talking about how Google Slides is coming. Currently, PowerPoint, PDF, and some Apple products. So you'd have to go Slides to PowerPoint or PDF to Curipod if you wanted to upload. So that is a little bit of a downer for us, but you can also create your own. So if you wanted to now, if you didn't want to start from scratch, you could actually add elements. So I could add, I'm going to come down here to elements. Actually, that wasn't what I wanted. I wanted to click on lessons. So I could say I want a lesson on polar bears. And so what this is doing is it is just searching lessons that exist for anybody that's done anything about polar bears. So you can see there are some previous authors. So I could see if someone already has done something on polar bear. I could go to add new, and now this is the generate with AI. So if I want to go to over here, let's go to ELA, or actually let's go to content. I can add any of these different parts. And let's go polar bears again and see what happens. Concepts, there we go. So content or scale, polar bear, and let's say about third grade, because second or third grade is when we study the North in social studies. Do magic. So it's given me some slides about polar bears. I can take a look at those. I'll pop them in. So this is an informational slide. Habitat, adaptation, diet. Okay, so they're similar slides. I can pick the ones that I want. There's some content. I can add all 4. All right, I could come up and change the color if I wanted. I can regenerate. Okay, let's go back to refine. I'm going to add a generator. We can add poll questions. So you can see lots of the different features that we used in our live session are here. We can, again, let's try polar bear again. And leave that at 4th grade, do magic. Let's add this one. What color is a polar bear's fur? Okay. How do polar bears keep warm in the Arctic? That is a good question. What do polar bears mainly eat? Plants or seals? I can add more options if I'd like to. So these are all editable as well. I probably wouldn't have used the first one because that's might be a little too obvious, but some of these are great. Like anything that we've talked about before, that 80-20 rule applies. You can let Curipod do 80% of the work. Probably actually in Curipod, I think it's almost a 70-30. I'd let Curipod do lots of the work for me. I'd get it started, but then I would want to add my own ideas. I would want to pick and choose. I'm not going to use all their slides as it is. I usually dump a couple, add some, change some of their answers, fully editable. So that is one of the neat parts about Curipod. And so if we just come back here, you can take a look at all of the different options that you see. So we've got brain breaks, lessons, all sorts of things. Exit tickets, polls. They have a great SEL section, which would be really great for younger students. Okay. And I see some of you are talking questions in the chat. Kellyanne was writing lists of the 80-20 rule. Shiloh Dawn asked if it adds the interactive components. So hopefully you've seen that it does. Like when I had those the poll questions, it adds those. I can get rid of ones I don't like. I can change the answers if I don't like them, or I can even add additional ones as well. So it's very, very, very editable is the word that I'm looking for. There are a list of resources that we have on this slide deck. These resources are found in our website, and it is this. You might have to copy and paste that in. I don't think that link is going to be clickable. All of these resources here on great ways to use Curipod are found on our coach's website. Next week, 2 weeks from now, we are going to do our 4th session in our after-school mini session, and that is on Project Read, and it is great for our teachers who need to find texts at different levels, especially for decodables. Oh, Kellyanne's getting all fancy about the polar bears. We also can know that from virtual reality, Kellyanne. I don't know if you learned that today when we were practicing or not. Anyways, thank you for joining us. Make us account in Curipod. Check it out. I would love to hear how it goes. So, next time you see one of your coaches. Let us know if you've used Curipod. How's it working for you? How much do you have to alter it before it does something that's usable for you? We love to hear how you are using AI tools and what's working, what's not. And of course, this AI landscape is ever changing. We need to keep working together, sharing our ideas so that we can be there for our students and lead them into a world that's going to inevitably involve AI. Thanks for joining us today. We hope to see you next time. Make sure you head over to our webpage where we have all the things for Prairie Rose and AI.